Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the next episode of the Vortex of a Spiritual Barbie podcast. My name is Christine and I'm your host, as always. So, today I come here to share something, a download that I just got, which I know you'll find it super valuable and you'll get your own breakthrough just by listening to it, because I know I did, and it is also like a reminder for myself as well. So, if you're watching the video, if you're wondering why I have a mic here, I'm also recording for the audio version on my other phone, so you can tune in to my podcast for the same episode, or you can tune into my YouTube for this as well. So I have really exciting things to share. Before that, I recently just launched my Substack about over a month ago, and it's basically like a blog to me, but I also I see it as a place where I can get into my creative writing flow, but I write mostly about self-love, mindset, and spirituality, and the things in between. So if you're curious, go check it out, subscribe to receive exclusive content for your own downloads as well, for your own growth in your journey. Because I believe that at least personally, when I listen to other people's stories, journey, and what they've learned, I get my own downloads and aha moments as well, and I know you'll get so much value from what I've shared. And it is also my calling to do so. So yeah, link in the show notes, link in the description if you're on YouTube, and if you're on my Instagram, link in my bio. So everything is in the description. So apart from that, I have another exciting announcement. I'm seeing 222, but I will leave that for a little bit later for another episode, because I'm brewing stuff behind the scenes. It's something that I've been called to offer for the longest time, and I know that it's my calling as well. So stay tuned for that. You can stay tuned on my Substack to find out more. Get it in your email inbox firsthand to get all the juice and the details. So anyways, updates. I am currently on social media detox. I am resting and integrating, because I recently just did a quantum healing session to heal my shadow self. It was so profound that I needed to be in my own space, be in my own energy more, and not get distracted. And we all know, I'm seeing 333, maybe that's your sign. We all know that social media, the more we scroll mindlessly, the more it drains us, and we can be so mindless sometimes when we scroll, because there's just so much information, so much noise outside of us, and we forget how is it like to be with ourselves, and in this case, to really separate ourselves from the external noise, to just recuperate, get back our energy back, and integrate whatever we are going through at this time. And recently it's the equinox, right? Equinox, what I understand is that when equinox hits, it's like twice a year, and it means that the shadow and light becomes more contrast. So in a way that your shadow side will be highlighted even more at this time, and a lot of us, I feel as a collective, is so heavy at this time, and a lot of us are being called to go on hermit mode, to detox. And I just want to drop a quick reading here that I'm just getting before I'm sharing this, is that listen to your body, please. Like, Don't go out for the sake of going out. Don't just say yes when people invite you out. Really take a moment to really ask yourself, ask your body what it needs, because by honoring your needs, your body's needs, you are teaching others to honor you as well. And we all want that kind of respect in our lives, don't we? We must first respect our needs. And so that calling to detox for I don't know how long, probably a few days, probably a couple of weeks. So honor your body's needs. I got distracted by noise, so I'm back again. So during this time when things are more intense, maybe you'll find yourself feeling easily triggered than before. But you know what? This connects to what I'm about to share today. So this is flowing so well. I'm just going to go with the flow mostly. I do have some really quick notes that I wrote here as I got my download in the midst of my dinner today. I was just eating like I'm just not feeling it because I have ulcers on my lip and it's hurting and I didn't want to eat much. But in the middle of that, I just like, oh shit, I just got this download, I need to share it. And I quickly ran up to my room, and that's when I quickly wrote some stuff on my sticky notepad here. So triggers are invitation to get to know yourself, to heal parts of you that is not healed, basically. But in today's topic, in the title of the podcast of this today's session is about the power of knowing what you don't want. So our triggers can lead to many different things that teaches us about ourselves. But for the sake of today's sharing, I want to share more in relation to the power of knowing what you don't want. So triggers can teach you many things, and it can most definitely teach you what you don't want in life. And I want to really shed light on this because I feel like oftentimes when we go through something that's so triggering and eventually the thing that we thought we want or we still want at a time is already out of our hands. Maybe it's a breakup, maybe you got laid off, maybe you lost something, lost a friendship, lost touch of something that you used to love. I want you to know that it's normal, it's okay to feel some sort of grief when that thing or person or something is no longer in your life. And once you feel those things, once you allow yourself to write the emotion, the waves of your emotion, and once you are more grounded, I want you to really see it from a different light. If you can, don't force yourself to do it right off the bat, because when you're going through the healing phase, the integration, when you're bringing your shadow side, your wounds into the light, it needs some time to be merged into this new timeline, this new chapter of your new identity. So but after that, see the power in knowing what you don't want. So whatever that you're going through and is no longer in your life, most of the time you will come to a phase where, oh my God, I used to like this, I used to enjoy this, I used to be in this place, but I used to believe that, but now I no longer do. And you might even have a sense of guilt around that. I have been there. I was in a place like, what the hell? If I'm no longer in that relationship, if I no longer have that friend, if I no longer have that belief, I felt so lost. I felt like I don't know what I'm here to do anymore. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I want anymore. And I want you to really sit in that. That is the transition phase. Oh my God, so many downloads are coming in, but guides, please, I just want to share this topic today. But they want me to shed some light in this transition phase. So when we go through an ego death, an integration of our shadow self, and we are healing, we may go through a period where we feel so separated from ourselves. I want you to know that you are being separated from your old self so that you can step into your new self. It is like one step closer to being your most authentic, your higher self, best version of yourself. And especially for us light workers, people like us who are doing the inner work, who are learning to love ourselves and get closer to our dream life, we will go through this all the time. This is not a one-time thing, not a two-time thing. It's multi-layered. We are all multi-layered, and it happens in different phases of transitions. And I want you to know that even though it may hurt right now, it may feel so empty, so unbearable, but it does not have to be forever. It is temporary. And I know you are strong enough to get through this because you have been through so much in your life. You have that inner resilience, inner resourcefulness in you that can help you thrive. And you are so supported. No matter where you are, what you're doing, you are always so supported, whether you realize it or not. By supported, I mean you have all of your guardian angels, you have God or universe, your higher self, all watching over you. And it's so special to know because you are perfectly safe. You're perfectly guided. You are so supported, and I want you to tune into that feeling of being supported. Allow that support in, because when you allow the support in, that feeling is priceless. So I'm getting a bit off track. More on that on probably other day or so, but the power of knowing what you don't want. So after we go through this phase, these kind of phases where things got out of your life, maybe it's a breakup, maybe it's losing a friendship, you got laid off, you lost something dear to you, and you no longer resonate with something you used to love, and suddenly you have a change of mind or something that you think was the one. So I want you to have so much compassion for yourself, because that is the very first step in any journey when you're going through something that is unpleasant or something that is unexpected. And the power of knowing what you don't want is that it teaches you not only what you don't want, but it also teaches you contrast. It teaches you, I'm closing my eyes now if you're watching a video, because it helps me to concentrate better, to channel better. So it teaches you to contrast so that it helps you to see what you actually want, what you actually really need, if you choose to see it in that light. Now I have another note here that says filter. So the more you do the inner work, the more you realize a lot of things does not resonate anymore. Things that you used to want, you don't want anymore. It filters out all of the things that is not for your highest good. It filters out the things that no longer serves you. It removes the friendships, it removes the habits, beliefs, connections, relationships, jobs, whatever in your life, because it is no longer in alignment of who you are becoming. And that is so powerful, because who you are becoming may not be who you may expect to be, especially if you're doing the inner work. Let that sink in. It's a filtering system when you know the power of knowing what you don't want or don't need in your life. And I want you to recognize that, because I know resistance are going to come up here if you're listening to this. Resistance is normal to have, because you're not just healing and changing and shifting into new identity. You're also changing new ways of thinking, of mindset. I'm saying 1111. For any of you that might take this as a sign, you are shifting into a version of yourself that you still need time to get to know too. This is just like getting to know a new person. So take this opportunity to sit with your resistance and know that your resistance is coming from a place of, oh, I am so uncertain. It's uncertainty and it feels unsafe, but I want you to know that you are safe. It's just the mind and the ego wanting you to feel that it's unsafe because it is unfamiliar. It is unfamiliar, therefore it's unsafe. And I want you to feel safe in the uncertainty, because the more you practice this, the easier it is to get through anything similar in life, to get through any healing, any hardships in your life. So it filters out the things that you don't need, not what you think your ego needs. It's what your higher self, your guides, are filtering for you, because you're doing the inner work. You deserve to go higher and higher in your ascension journey, in your spiritual journey. And I find this so beautiful, because believe me when I say this, the more I do this, the more I get through, the more resistance I let go, and the more I detach and surrender and trust in myself and the process, the more I fell in love with myself and my life. The little bits of pieces every day that I feel, it builds up, it accumulates, and every day I just sit in gratitude, even if it's just for a minute. It accumulates, and the amount of love that I feel in my heart, in myself, in my life, and my gratitude for all the hardships and challenges I went through, it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I'm taking a moment of pause here to see if anything wants to come up. So the more you know what you don't want, the closer you are to get to what you really need or what you want. there's a difference for sure between what you want and what you need. For sure, we all have free will as a human, but there's also divine will, which is in my most simple description of divine will and free will is that the divine will comes from source, comes from your higher self, comes from what is already predestined for you before you reincarnate as a human on earth. It's that bigger picture kind of what is that word? A bigger picture kind of vision that the guides your higher self has for you in this lifetime. That is like your North Star. The more you do the inner work, the more connected you are with your higher self, with God, with the universe, whatever higher power you believe in. The more connected you are, the more you just connect to what your divine will is. And as for free will, it's your free will as a human being. I saw 555 as a human being on earth. We all came to earth to learn being human. So long story short, as a human, you have your own free will, and sometimes, most of the time, we make decisions based on our human will or the ego will. We all have that free will to make our own decisions without the intervention of the divine's will, because we are here to make our own choices to learn. So if we make any mistakes, or we hurt someone, or we hurt ourselves, it is all for a perfect divine reason. It's for you to learn and grow. So I want you to soak that in, and it's okay if you don't really get it at this time. But the point of this sharing today is just an invitation for you to see this thing or belief. It can be beliefs, it can be a mindset, behavior, it can be something that you used to like that you don't want anymore. That is why we do decluttering, right? It's okay to not want them anymore, or be in a relationship with that person anymore, because that filters out what does not serve you anymore. That filters out what is no longer in alignment of who you are becoming, of who you are right now. And this is something that I wished my 27-year-old or 28-year-old self would know, because she had a hard time recovering after her breakup from her ex. But it's okay, because that was meant for her to further heal and grow. And because of that experience, the painful heartbreak, she, as in me, now knows what she does not want in a committed lifetime marriage relationship. And I'm still calling in my divine partner for sure, but I now know that what I don't want in my relationship for sure, living with my future husband, which is, I'll give you an example. Okay, if I'm going to marry a Muslim, I know for sure I do not want to convert. This might trigger some people, but I don't care. So I do not want to convert. I know there's a man out there, my divine partner, my twin flame soulmate, whoever he is, he's going to be that guy who is so open, so damn spiritual like me, and He will just accept all of me, my values, my needs, my need to be free in my expression of my body, myself. And if I convert and I have to take on something that forces me to become someone I am not comfortable to be with, to become, then it's a no. And I have compassion for my younger self in my past relationship, because at the time I was lying to myself. I wasn't being honest. I just said, "No, it's okay, I'll convert." But deep down there's a bitter voice that tells me all the time, "No, I don't want that." And the more I learn to love myself, and the more I do my inner work, the more I heal, the more I grow, the more I embody who my higher self is, the more I embody this love in myself, the more I embody who I am, the more I realize, no, I don't want to be caged in a religion, in the rules, in the laws, in I don't want to be tied by anything. I just want to flow. I'm a divine feminine. I am here to flow. And if a man comes in and tells me, "Hey, you need to wear long sleeves, wear long pants, you need to convert, and you need to do this, do that," and it goes against my values and my core values, my needs, I'm sorry, I'm getting out of here in a heartbeat. Even if I may care for the other person, I may love the other person, but if basically, long story short, my relationships taught me that things that I don't want in a partner, in a committed marriage kind of relationship. So yeah, I mean, that is just one example that I can give you. And also another example, I'm feeling like some of you may need another example of what I have realized in myself that I thought I wanted, I thought it was okay, and through a period of hardship, challenges, I figured out what I don't want. Okay, next example. I'm getting download from my previous workplaces. I thought I was in a good place. My previous jobs. I thought I was in a good place. I'm seeing 2222. I thought I was in a good place, but the more I do my inner work, the more I feel like something wasn't right in that environment. I knew that my boss was treating me well, but at the same time something felt heavy and it's clashing. I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel protected. I didn't feel understood. I tried to speak my truth multiple times on something. It wasn't well received. And eventually I realized I don't like this feeling. I feel unsafe every day just coming to work. And I felt the heaviness in me. It grew over time. And one day I just couldn't take it anymore, and I handed my resignation letter, even though I was so scared. I was so scared of seeing my boss's reaction and how he would feel, because I'm an empath, I'm clairsentient, I can sense people's feelings way before, sometimes I even talk about certain things. But he was surprised, but I'm glad I got through it. I'm glad I handed over the resignation. And what that taught me is that I don't want to be in an environment that does not nurture me to be myself. Ooh, that was so heavy. I don't want to be in an environment that pushes me to work every hour for 9 to 5. I'm not wired to work that way. And I remember just forcing myself to vomit ideas, to create things. I'm a designer. I was a UI UX designer at that company at the time. I was just like vomiting out ideas and constantly doing something. And I remember I was taking a lunch break by myself, and my boss and the other colleagues went off on their own lunch break, but I went on my own because I needed my alone time. And so I went a little bit after they went for lunch, and not even an hour, my boss at the time texted me, "Where am I?" It's like hinting at me, "Why am I not back yet? Why am I taking so long?" Or, I could sense that he didn't trust me. I was already working with him for almost a year at a time, a couple of months at least. It was past probation. And that was one of the earliest sign for me that, oh my God, I didn't know at the time, but right now as I look back, it taught me that I don't want to work with someone who does not trust me, who does not let me have my autonomy, my own space. And I know he is coming from a place of a wounded place. I know he has experienced things in his life that made him paranoid and think a certain way. I have compassion for that. I just couldn't accept this kind of treatment. And I remember one time that I was diagnosed with severe dry eyes problem at the time. And it really does not hurt me physically, but because of the severe dry eye problem, my eyes could not stand any bright light, even slightly dim light like this in my room. Right now, I could not stand it. I remember wearing a hat or a cap and shades over my glasses every day for, I think, I could say maybe 3 months. It was downright horrifying, awful. I was mentally unwell the whole time because the office lights, it was so bright. It's not the yellowish light, it's like bright white fluorescent light, and I hate those kind of lights, by the way. It hurt me mentally and emotionally. And having to come to office like that every day and stay there for about 8-9 hours is just suffocating. It hurts so much. And I remember pleading to my boss if I can work from home. It was pre-COVID, by the way, when things are, every day you just go to work, drive to work, show up at work, wake up early, go back a little bit late. Those are the days, even though I work from home now, but those were the days where I still work from home, office. So imagine that for months, I pleaded my boss if I could work at home. He was so resistant to it. So for the first couple of weeks, first to 3 weeks, I was still working at the office with my hat and the shades on. And eventually my boss was like, okay, fine, I trust you. You can take the PC home, the laptop home, and you can work from home. At the time, I had already felt so heavy, and I suspected that although he let me work from home, which I appreciate, but something felt not right, still felt unsafe in me. But at the time I didn't know, so I just went on with it. And I think it was barely 2 weeks work from home, he asked me to come back. And I wasn't recovered, of course. I was still under treatment. I was using some special ointment on my eyes, and I regularly go for checkup and whatnot. I was still receiving treatment. And he has that really Chinese, really, it's a different mentality, by the way. I just don't want to go too deep on that, but it's a different mentality where if you're not sick, physically sick, like the flu, the cough, fever, if you're not that, it means you can work. But in reality, when we are unwell as a whole, mental, emotional, and he does not see that because he does not see that in himself. When he is overworking and stressed out, he does not stop working. So anyways, coming back to this, more major signs of red flag come back as I return to work. And what that taught me is that no, I don't deserve this kind of treatment. I deserve to have my needs met. I deserve to be able to speak my truth in a safe space, not when someone who is always so guarded and unwilling to trust me, even though sometimes he shows that he trusts me, but he does not trust me. I did not feel that. I didn't trust myself enough at the time to take that step to leave that job, because I needed that financial security. But of course, in the end, I decided to change. Here I am in Mind Valley. So I left the job, and yeah, I realized that I deserve so much better. I deserve to be treated with respect. So what it taught me about what I don't want is to work with people who does not see things eye to eye to me, does not understand me on a deeper level. And it taught me that I don't want to work in an environment where I don't feel safe, that I don't feel trusted. So there are so many lessons in a lot of things, but I hope these few examples could, give you some inspiration. I hope that you can also have your own breakthrough eventually, because I know that with every sharing, whether it's from me or other people, success stories or like learnings, experience, insights, it will activate the person who is listening and the person who needs to hear it. I always believe in that, and that's why I do what I do. That's why my podcast is on. That's why I'm sharing this here, and I try to get my message out as far as I can, and also, of course, be gentle with myself along the way, because I do have a busy life, which I'm trying to add more softness into it. Yeah. So I hope this serves you well today. Remember, knowing what you don't want is a miracle in blessing. Try to see it from a different perspective, and you'll be so unfuckwittable. Trust me, you can practice this mindset, this perspective shift. I'm saying 3, and let me know. I don't know if you feel called to share, which I would love to hear from you. You can share on Instagram and share my podcast, share my YouTube, or anywhere that you found this episode. Tag me on Instagram, send me a message probably, and I'll see you around. Okay? Make sure to follow me, to subscribe. It's all in below. If you're on Spotify, please follow. If you're on Apple Podcasts, please follow. If you're on Instagram, please follow me as well. Of course, no force, and I thank you so much for listening to my sharing. And yeah, I'm sending so much love. I'm cheering you on. You're doing so amazing. Love you.